Okay, it's me again, Ferdinando. So we go to Genesis 5, descendant of Adam. So this chapter is gonna describe all the descendant of Adam, and we're gonna just point few good information. Now, let's start in 5 1. This is the book of the generation of Adam in the day when God created man. He made him in the likeness of God. He created them male and female, and he blessed them and named them man in the day where they were created. So Adam and Eve were created an image, a likeness of God. Now, look at this. Adam and Eve sinned. The connection between God and Adam and Eve was broken. God cannot be in present of the sinful actions, sinful creatures. So they were expelled out of the garden as a act of love. Remember that if Adam and Eve, that one are condemned, they're gonna die spiritually. If they eat from the fruit of the life, they will be eternally condemned. So God expelled them so they cannot eat from the fruit of the life. So eventually they will die and they can return to God after they die. Now, this is very important. Verse 3. When Adam had lived 130 years, he became the father of a son in his own likeness, according to his image, and named him Seth. Remember in the last chapter that I mentioned that Adam was 130 years. That means Cain and Abel, when Cain killed Abel, they were more than 100 years probably. But this is the most important part. Where we came from. We came from Seth. Seth produced the line of Noah, and Noah produced the line of all humanity. So see where the line of Seth come. Adam had lived 130 years. He became the father of a son in his own likeness according to his image and named him Seth. Seth is no more likeness and image of God. It's likeness and image of Adam. And that's what we got. Now, when we became Christian, now retake the likeness and image of God. You do not see any other person that is not a Christian saying, I am made in likeness and image of God. Only Christian says that because we retake that when we become Christian, when Jesus comes to our life and save us from sin. That's the moment that we retake that image and likeness. Other people do not have that. They come from faith. Okay, so in the all the genealogy of Adam, so there is Enoch. Enoch was important because was the father of Methuselah, and Enoch 5:24 says Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. So Enoch did not die, was taken to heaven. There are only two people in the Bible that didn't die, were taken to heaven alive. Enoch and Elijah. They were taken to heaven alive. Okay, Methuselah. Why Methuselah is relevant? Because Methuselah is the father of Lamech, and Lamech was the father of Noah. Now, a scholar that had run the numbers of aging, Adam died in the time of Lamech. So Adam could have tell Lamech all the story about the garden, about Cain, Abel, and everything to Lamech. Adam died in that moment, and Lamech could have tell all of that to Noah, and Noah could have tell all of that to their sons. Now, why Methuselah is important? Methuselah lived um, um, Methuselah lived 969 years and he died. So that's the um, eldest person in the world, Methuselah. And what it means, Methuselah, after me, the flood will come. So the year that Methuselah died is the year that the flood came. Okay, let's go to number 6. The corruption of mankind. Now it came about when men began to multiply on the face of the land, and the daughters were born to them, that the Son of God saw the daughters of men were beautiful, and they took wife from themselves, whoever they choose. Then the Lord said, my spirit shall not strive in man with man forever, because he also is flesh. Nevertheless, his day shall be 120 years. Okay, Son of God. Who are these Son of God? These are the fallen angels, Satan, and 1/3 of the angels that God created at that time fell down to the earth because they disobeyed God and they did rebel God. So the angels that now have a physical body was having women as wife and create an offspring. So those offspring were the Nephilims. The Nephilims were on the earth those days, and also afterward, when the Son of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children of them. Those were the mighty men who were of old men of renown. So, Nephilims are the offspring between an angel and a woman. So they were giants, and their genetics remains in the human genes, and that's why after the flood, even there were only 8 people on Earth, and none of them were giants. Some way the genetic remains in one of those people, and giants came back. But here's the point. They were angels that wanted to be God. That's why they rebelled. And having a wife and having sons that were powerful because were the Nephilim giants. Look at this. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. So this book was written by Moses. After Abraham, after Noah says everything, and you know that from Seth came Abraham line, and the others create the other lines. So what are the other lines religion that what create? Well, they came from the Greeks. The other lines came the Greeks. And what the story of the Greek creates? Gods, multiple gods that have a human wife and had demigods offsprings. Hercules was a demigod offspring, and all kind of a history, Perseus, and I don't know, all kind of a Greek mythology, and Moses was written about that. That came from this part of the book. This part of the Bible is explaining where those religions of gods and Aphrodite and all those gods were created. Okay, then the Lord saw that the wickedness of the man was great on the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. The Lord was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. In his heart, the Lord said, I will blow out man whom I had created from the face of the land, man to animals to from the land, from man to animals to creeping things and to birds of the sky. For I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. So imagine this. God created Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve created a whole population of earth. Angels came and they started bringing idolatry to the population of human that was in the earth at that time. Adam and Eve were created by God. They were living there and still they create idolatry and other images and like a um evil things were doing. And that's why God saw that the heart of the man was easily corrupt, and that's why he wanted to destroy. Noah found favor in the Lord. These are the record of the generations of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his time. Noah walked with God. Noah became the father of three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Shem is the line that Abraham comes. Now, in 13 said, Then God said to Noah, The end of all flesh hath come before me, for the earth is filled with violence because of them. And behold, I am about to destroy them with the earth. Make for yourself an ark of gopher wood, and shall make the ark with runes, and shall cover it inside and out with pitch. This is how you shall make it, and describe the ark. Behold, I am bringing the flood of water upon the earth to destroy all flesh, which is the breath of life from under heaven. Everything that is on shall perish. But I establish my covenant with you, and you shall enter the ark, you and your sons and your wife and your son's wife with you. And every living thing of all flesh you shall bring two of every kind into the ark. To keep them alive with you, they shall be male and female. Of the birds after their kind, and the animals after the kind, and every creeping thing of the ground after its kind, two of every kind will come to you, keep them alive. As for you, take for yourself some of all food which is edible, and gather it to yourself, and it shall be for food for you and for them. Thus Noah did according to all God have commanded him, so he did. Okay, first, only 8 people were worthy to enter to the ark. The wife of the three sons couldn't even save their mother and father. Nobody believed Noah. Now, one thing about the word ark, this word in Hebrew is not the same word of the Ark of the Covenant. Actually, the word ark in Hebrew only appears in the Bible two times. One, to describe Noah's ark, and to describe the basket that Moses was put on the river. Those are the only 2 times that that word was used. So that's why nobody can understand the shape of the Noah's Ark. Everybody understands the size, but not the shape, because there is no way to compare that word, because the word is not related to the size, because was the Noah's Ark and was at the same time the size of the basket that Moses was put on the river, and both were with pitch and were floated. So Nothing else we know about that word. And then we talk about two animals, pair of animals, and then we're gonna see that God bring more animals of what he called clean animals, but two a pair. Now everybody start talking things like okay, why? How can fit a giraffe? Two big giraffe, two big elephant, two big brontosaurs. God said male and female, and they were in the ark for 1 year. God didn't say bring two adults. Could be two young animals, two young elephants, maybe baby elephants, two young giraffe, maybe baby giraffe, two young brontosaurs, T-Rex, all the animals that we can find after. So all those animals doesn't have to be large when they enter to the ark. They just have to be two. And if they're going to stay in the ark for 1 year, they can mature in the ark. By the time that they went out of the ark, they were able to reproduce. And it made sense that God, instead of bringing old animals, large animals, old, that they're going to last less, going to bring young animals that are going to last longer after the flood. Okay, we will continue with chapter 7 next time.